Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shishma Sarala, consulting homeopath at Fidelis Homeopathy. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic which is less discussed or less accepted, especially in women or in the household itself, is nothing but impact of female reproductive diseases and in relation with the mental health. So let's dive into the topic to know more about why this is important, why we are discussing it, and how it affects the females. As we can see here, if we talk about mental wellness, you have to observe that females have more susceptibility to the illnesses or mental conditions compared to men. They are more susceptible to diseases like depression, it can be anxiety, it can be panic attacks. Why are women more susceptible to these kind of mental illnesses and why not men? Even men do suffer from these kind of diseases, but compared to the ratio of females and males, females do suffer a little bit more. And why is this ratio more in females? We will know as we go deeper into the topic. Today we are going to discuss, if you have seen the previous videos in our channel, you will be knowing that we have discussed how stress causes certain disorders, whereby causing hormonal fluctuations and causing these female disorders or female reproductive organ disorders as such, how stress is related to female reproductive disorders. Today we are going to discuss how this female reproductive disorders or how the female body itself is designed in a manner where she is more prone or susceptible to certain mental illnesses. Today we will be discussing in particular with endometriosis, uterine fibroids, PCOS or PCOD, cervical cancer, menstrual disorders, infertility and PID, how these disorders are affecting women and how these are affecting the mental picture of the woman. So we will see here what is the connection between these susceptibility to certain conditions like depression, anxiety, or it can be panic attacks. If you see the male and the female reasoning, how they reason out or how they view things, we view people or the women view conditions based on their emotions. Like for example, you see a certain accident, the woman might feel sorry for the loss or sorry for the hurt that the person is suffering, and also sorry for their family members, or she might just say, oh, it's so painful to see that. Whereas men, they think more logically, where they see how we can help at that given moment, how can we help, how can we divert the traffic, how can we be useful, or what can we do so that the person who is suffering the pain can be taken out of it. So it's not like the women don't have logical reasoning. The women think out of emotion. For example, if you see a person who is selling something, she's weak, she's half naked, and then you see that she's not feeling well. Women, even though it depends upon their mood. For example, if the woman is feeling a little depressed, she might see the pain in her eyes. If the woman is anxious or if the woman is angry, she will see this woman, she's not covered properly. The logic of what you're thinking depends upon the emotions. For example, you've seen or you've heard some breakup story, the women will feel sympathetic for that breakup story, whereas men might think, what is the logic behind this breakup? So women think more out of their emotions. We give or we take or we view the world through our emotions, through our mood. It's certain things which can be quite natural. Like for example, you might find a wet towel on your bed. Depending if you're feeling really anxious or if you're really feeling angry, you might just shout at your partner or shout at your siblings for just throwing that towel on the bed. For example, if you're feeling very happy, you might just pick it up and put it somewhere. So it depends upon how much of what sort of emotion you're feeling. And why is this fluctuation or why is this difference coming in between the men and the female? You have to understand that females have more complex hormones like estrogen, we have progesterone, we have LH, we have FSH, we have hormones like prolactin, we have oxytocin. Whereas compared to men, the major hormone is testosterone. So they don't have to maintain that harmony between all of these hormones, single hormone to maintain that proper line. So that is why men tend to be a little bit more logical, and females, because of this complexity in these hormones, they have this kind of emotional breakdown, or you can say emotional way of viewing things. Now coming into how or why our mood fluctuates based on our hormones, we have known or we have seen the connection in the further slide. We can see that estrogen and progesterone are two main hormones. Here, if we see estrogen, you will find out that estrogen is mainly made for mood maintenance, or it helps in serotonin levels, it helps in dopamine levels, it helps in giving that happy or that vibing that you need. That happiness or that vibing is there when you have estrogen in surplus. Where here, if you can see the first day of menstruation to the 14th day where there is ovulation, you can see the surge of estrogen over here. Whenever there is surge of estrogen, you feel warm, you feel welcoming, you feel very active, you feel, you're not bloated, you have this happy neurotransmitters always in your blood. Okay, but whenever there is a drop in estrogen, that is drop in E2, or if there is any drop in progesterone also, if there is increase or decrease in the progesterone is mainly for anxiety, to maintain that proper level between going too anxious to not being or not able to take care of anything, that it maintains a fine line between not taking care of anything to taking care of something too much. Okay, so this progesterone, if there is any fluctuation in the progesterone also, you will be having these mood changes. So estrogen is mainly for your happiness or related to your happiness, and progesterone is mainly for your anxiety. If you can, we'll see here in this slide how based on different life stages the mental picture of a person or of a woman will mold. If you take menstruation, until then you're a kid, and from your first day of menstruation you can feel this change of fluctuation in the hormones, whereby you can just feel depressed, you can feel or even smaller things can be very overwhelming for you in menstruation, and in the pain that is very new to you because it's your first day of your period, you've never experienced something like this. The pain and all can weigh you down, even your work life balance being a student can be disrupted. Apart from that, pregnancy and postpartum is something that should be talked more about, because sometimes people do get pregnant without planning for pregnancy. Sometimes they have accidental pregnancies. Sometimes people do plan for pregnancy, but the symptoms of pregnancy, that is gastritis symptoms, this you have to pee every time, you have constipation, sometimes you're not able to digest, you have sometimes coordinated conditions like thyroid or diabetes, it is too overwhelming, and sometimes you just get depressed. Even people who are watching this, even if you're not a female, you have to understand, if you have a woman in your life, that pregnancy and especially postpartum, that is after the delivery, because there are a lot of changes that happen in the woman's body. She'll grow a little bit larger, her tummy will be large, there are stretch marks on her tummy, the body is dysmorphic in nature, that is not what she used to be. The strength is different, the food that she's taking is different, the digestion capability is different, the hair starts to fall, the skin starts to break out, all of this will happen. Please do support women in this. It is not something that it's not like she's throwing a tantrum at everything, it is her hormones that are going in place. So please do understand that pregnancy and postpartum will have a major toll on the mental picture. If you have a supporting partner, if you have a supporting family, then people who have these kind of support system tend to have less depression compared to people who do not. And also perimenopause and menopause, as I told you, estrogen is responsible for your happiness. If there is drop in estrogen which occurs in perimenopausal and menopausal state, you tend to be a little bit more depressive, your progesterone levels are fluctuated, you tend to be a more anxious, you tend to get angry a lot. If you're having a mother or a sister who's suffering or who's going to this menopausal stage, do support her, because that anxiety, that anger, whatever you are seeing new in her is because of her hormones, and is not because of how she wants to behave. It's not something that women choose to behave, it's something that is happening inside our bodies, that we just feel like I am doing this. It's not you are doing this, your hormones are doing this because of the life stages you're going through. You have to accept that, and by accepting it, you can mold your character in a much better way. Then coming to how stress impacts these hormones, we have seen that estrogen is responsible for the happiness, and progesterone to maintain a fine line between anxiety. If you can see stress, if you have stress in your life, that is chronic stress. For example, if you are hearing bad news continuously, if you are hearing news which you don't want to hear, or if you are perceiving something with your eyes which you don't want to see, continuous influx of those will create the brain to cause there is disruption in the HPA axis, which is hypothalamus pituitary axis. There is chronic secretion of cortisol, which will cause high blood sugar, which will cause a lot of belly fat to form in the body, and also which will cause E1 to rise. E2 is estrogen that we are supposed to produce, which is the estradiol. When there is excess of E1 production in the body, it can lead to estrogen dominance, which can lead into certain diseases like PCOS, fibroids, and other endometriosis and adenomyosis. And even these diseases in turn maintain that E1 dominance. So whenever there is E1 dominance, you're more prone to depression, you're more prone to anxiety, you're more prone to this mental illnesses. Some people, even if they don't have a support system at home, they form this figures in their mind and they start talking to it. Some people even develop bipolar disorders if there's no one to take care of them. So if you're someone who's viewing this, understand, if you are someone who is suffering from all of this, do tell your family members how you're feeling and how you're suffering. It is not always yelling that helps. It is also making communication, or telling them how you're feeling through that day, and letting them know that you're not in a proper position and that you need help. Do not try to cut off these feelings, because these feelings are occurring because of certain diseases which you are having in your body. So this is how stress will affect the estrogen. And also by estrogen even increase, it will cause a drop in the progesterone level, which can cause anxiety. Then coming to impact of these diseases, how PCOD, fibroids, endometriosis, adenomyosis, bulky or painful menstruation will cause an emotional turmoil in yourself, especially people, teenagers who are suffering from PCOS, or persons who are in their young age suffering from PCOS. They might be suffering from dysmorphic syndrome, where they don't feel like their body is growing. They can't do anything about it. They are cutting down their cups, even though then they are growing in size. They have stretch marks. They have this tummy area which is full of fat. Their hair is starting to fall. The skin is getting darker. The face is having acne. It's having hirsutism. Which is growth of hair on your facial regions, that is on your face and on your neck and chest. So whenever you're going through all of these symptoms, you will be depressed. Some people will be depressed. Some people will like to talk about it. Some people become extroverts and tell each and everyone how they are suffering. Some people will just cut themselves off from the society, and then they'll just not talk about how their bleeding is, or there is too much of bleeding, too much of clots in fibroids as we see, or too much of pain as we see in endometriosis. They don't want to communicate. So there are different personalities that will develop after these diseases, because these diseases tend to cause estrogen fluctuations and progesterone fluctuation. As we have seen how moods are being affected by these diseases. And then here we come into the conventional form of treatment, where they give you synthetic hormones to maintain the balance of your hormones. Remember, whenever you're giving synthetic hormones to your body, you're already suffering from hormonal imbalance. That can be balanced out. As much as time that you're taking this hormonal or synthetic hormones, it will be balanced out. But after soon as you stop it, again these hormones will start to behave in an abnormal manner. And also the synthetic hormones can cause mood fluctuation. Some people tend to get very angry. Some people tend to get very clingy. Some people tend to get very depressive after these hormones. So these hormones do not provide any sort of cure to your condition or cure to your mood swings. And apart from not only visiting the gynecologist, you got to visit even your psychiatrist and your psychologist also, so that you can take counseling sessions and you can be prescribed medication for your mood swings. This is all very long process, and also it is not effective in nature, because even after giving this hormonal pills or after doing any of these surgical processes, you can have a repetition of the symptoms, and also your pregnancy can be affected, or your fertility outcome can also be affected by this conventional form of treatment. But we have a form of treatment which does not have side effects, which can cure your mood swings. You need not visit lot of different set of doctors to get your cure, and that is nothing but homeopathic form of treatment. See, in homeopathic form of treatment, you will be able to manage, because not every person will react in the same manner. For example, 4 people are suffering from PCOS. One will feel, I am beautiful even though I'm large, or even though if I have body fat, I'm okay accepting myself. And she plays this, I'm a happy girl, and inside she starts to experience heart palpitations. She starts to experience tremors. She starts to experience all this kind of symptoms. She does not like to show it to everybody. She just puts up a perfect girl picture outside. Or there can be a girl who says I'm fine, and there can be another girl who becomes too overconfident after these things, because people have started bullying her. She puts on this stronger armor, and there is other kind of person where she just feels so insecure, she does not want to come out of the house. And there is another person who just cries all the time because of this symptom. See, the symptom or the disease is same, but the way the people are reacting, or the way the person is reacting, can be different. So in allopathy, we do not have such modulations. We do not have symptoms, or we do not have we do not have drugs for different kinds of mood swings that you're expressing. They either give you beta blockers or sedatives to calm down. But in homeopathy, there are medicines for your extrovertness, for your introvertness, for your overconfidence, or for your haughtiness, for your depression, for your weeping tendency. We have medicines which are holistically made, so that we take the stress which has caused the diseases which are causing this hormonal imbalance, and the hormonal imbalance can be managed through homeopathy. So it can understand the link, it can evaluate what is the cause, it can give you holistic medicine which is utterly safe to use, which is effective, which will manage your period, which will manage the flow of your period, and also which will have lesser recurrence compared to conventional form of treatment. It will relieve your current symptoms, cure your disease, and prevent further recurrence. Coming to what precautions should you be taking if you're suffering from all of this, as well as mood changes. First thing is sleep. Remember, if you're having a good amount of sleep, if you're having good sleep, then you will be able to handle that depression or that anxiety or that panic attacks much better than people who don't sleep well. 10 to 1 is a time where your hormone repair can happen. It's a time where it is called hormonal repair time, where your hormone fluctuation can be monitored properly by the body. So try to sleep in between this period, which is 4-10 o'clock, and wake up at around 6 or 7. And try to expose yourself to direct sun for vitamin D, especially in the morning hours or in the evening hours. See, we have observed, especially people who are coming to Fiticus Homeopathy, we have observed that there is a link between low vitamin D for a longer period of time and female reproductive organ diseases. So try to maintain the good vitamin D, levels in your body. Apart from that, lifestyle changes where your sleeping is proper, where the food intake is proper, you're avoiding red meat, you're avoiding phytoestrogens like soya products, you're eating good, you're eating enough of fiber, protein, and complex carbohydrates, you're sleeping and you're working out well, you're doing meditation, you're doing your breathing exercises, you're doing something that makes you happy at least 1 hour, you have decreased your screen time. All of this can coordinatively give you better outcome, and it will give you a healthier lifestyle. Then coming to neglect, if you're someone who's suffering from female reproductive organ diseases, do not neglect them, as they can make or they can cause a turmoil in your mental condition. Apart from causing a turmoil in the mental condition, the fibroids can become larger, the polycystic ovary disease can become, sometimes it can turn or have other diseases associated with it, like you can have fibroids, bulky uterus, PCOS, fibroids, bulky uterus, endometriosis. So it gets complicated, and there is nothing we can do. And estrogen dominance or this hormone fluctuations will take a toll not only on our mental symptoms, but also on your physical appearance also. So try to take doctor consultation as soon as possible. If you're someone who's suffering from female reproductive organ diseases, and also there is any fluctuation in your mood, if you're suffering from depression, if you're suffering from anxiety, panic attacks due to these female reproductive organ diseases, you can contact Fiticus Homeopathy, which is best, and we have good success rate here. Here we have two kinds of consultation options, online and offline. If you're someone who's staying nearby the nearest branch of Fiticus, you can come and visit us offline. And if you're someone who's staying far away from us, there are two options for you, which is audio consultation option and video consultation option. And after the doctor consultation has happened, we'll ask you for investigations. If you have already done all of the investigations, you can share it with us. And after the whole process is done, especially for online clients, the medicines will be delivered to your doorstep. If you're staying in India, 3 to 4 business days, USA 3 to 5 business days, apart anywhere in the globe, it can take 4 to 8 business days for our medicines to reach your doorstep. If you want to contact Fiticus Homeopathy, you can call us, WhatsApp us, or messages on this number. And if you want to know more about Fiticus Homeopathy, you can check our website www.fiticus.com. If you're someone who's suffering from female reproductive diseases along with mental illnesses, you can contact Fiticus Homeopathy. We have seen how homeopathy is much superior to allopathy or conventional form of treatment, and right now we are going to discuss about how Fiticus Homeopathy is top notch compared to other homeopathic hospitals or clinics. Remember, Fidelis Homeopathy stands for highest chance of health. Here we have high success rate. That is, we are already treating cases which have this mental illnesses connected to their female reproductive organ diseases, and also we are having good success rate in them. And the transparent treatment method, which is there is no gray area between the patient and the doctor. Here we try to explain it to you in clear about your prognosis. And the personal care here at Fidelis Homeopathy is top notch. We will answer all of your questions. We will, break down to you how your condition is, how your prognosis is, what should you be doing, what should you be eating, how much sleep should be you sleep cycle you should be having, and all of this other stuff. So if you want to choose health, if you want to choose cure, choose Fidelis Homeopathy. Thank you.